Crypto.
Hey y'all, Crypto Sports Collector here. I've received a lot of interest about the Rares platform following my video sharing 3 reasons why I'm excited about it and am an investor. In this video, I want to go a little bit deeper and provide additional thoughts and 4 specific questions I have regarding the future of the platform and investing in sneakers as an alternative investment. First and foremost, the one question you should ask yourself when considering any alternative investment, and really any investment at all, is what is my expected ROI, or return on investment? If you don't know what that means, let me break it down very simply. It's the amount of money you should expect in return relative to what you put in. For example, if you put in $100 into an investment and then sold that investment later on for $150, your ROI would be $50. The $150 that you sold it for minus the $100 you initially put in, or in percentage terms, a 50% ROI. Now that that's out of the way, let me throw out what's considered typical for traditional investments. Stock market historically has returned somewhere between 8 and 11%, gold 6 to 7%, art 6 to 11%, and I've seen some places cite 6 to 15%, and then real estate somewhere between 7 and 8%. And of course, returns can be much higher or much lower than the aforementioned based on your individual situation, but generally speaking, these are the returns you could expect. So that leads me to my first question. For a pair of rare Jordans or Yeezys, what could be the expected return? It's not lost on me that's probably very hard to say, and it probably varies very widely. And I can only think of looking somewhere like a StockX to get some sense of comparables. A partnership potentially between Rares and a company like StockX to get a source of data for analyzing potential value and appreciation of sneakers would be a good move, but my gut tells me it's probably an unlikely partnership. But I think for new investors and really even advanced investors, getting a sense of what a typical return could be on a pair of very rare sneakers would be a good insight to have before they started investing in the platform. The second question to consider is, what's the typical time horizon for your investment in rare sneakers? Will your capital be tied up for 1 year, 3 years, more than 5 years? Rares does mention in their FAQ that their team decides and holds the discretion on when the best time to sell is, and that could vary pretty widely, and that needs to be a part of your consideration. Follow-up question could be, can you reasonably find another investment with predictable returns over a more predictable time frame? Possibly, possibly not. And that's the fun and stress of investing, is figuring out where your money and where you want to put your money can work the hardest for you and get you the best return possible. Before I get to my third question, I want to share a little bit more context as to where it's coming from. So I'm an investor in another alternative asset platform called Masterworks. In a lot of ways, it's very similar to Rares, except it's for fine art. For example, I can purchase fractional shares of a Picasso or a Banksy. One thing I know they're considering is being able to allow investors to view the art they're invested in, sort of like a central gallery. So that leads me to my next question regarding Rares is there a physical way to go see the shoes that investors have a share in? And really, this gets to a much larger question of how else can investors get engaged other than the digital confirmation of their investment or shares in a shoe. For example, a lot of you are Top Shot collectors on this channel. And as you know, Top Shot has really started to meld together the digital and physical world based on a collector's activity on their platform. And so for Rares, I could see various scenarios. They're could vary pretty widely, and you can go in a lot of different ways, but just a few ideas are, could your fractional shares in one shoe allow you priority access to another shoe's IPO? Or maybe even a physical shoe drop, or maybe some sort of investors only event. Basically, where I'm going with this is there something beyond just simply the digital confirmation of your investment that allows investors to have more of an incentive to be on the platform and feel really engaged with the community of investors. And lastly, the fourth question, how many secondary transactions are occurring on the platform? This will give insight to the population trading on the platform, both buyers and sellers. A market needs a critical mass of buyers and sellers so that you know you can liquidate your investment should you need to. I haven't really seen any of the data published for rares, likely because it's still in its infancy and still kind of growing. But that would be an important piece of information for any investor coming onto a platform to have before they start to invest. So to wrap up, while these 4 questions are unanswered at this point, understandably, none of them have dissuaded me from investing in the platform. But I think these are critical questions that should be answered as the platform evolves and grows. Hopefully the Rares team will address these at some point to provide newer investors more information that gets them comfortable with the platform and really helps elevate sneakers as a legitimate alternative investment. Until next time, happy collecting.